I decided not to invite mom today because mom is gonna meet up with the traditional way. I think we slowly are getting to be fair around each other.
What does life after the honeymoon look like?
I expected to do all the chores.
There are a lot of external things affecting your presence here. What is it?
I'm so confused at what's going on.
Didn't I ask you if you're still talking to people on our wedding?
And I'm not.
She still maintains it's a friend.
Like, I actually can't do this.
Me too.
Yeah.
He sees nothing wrong with his reaction.
There's no way.
I'm sorry.
Yo, guys, it's going down next week. Zia Kala, we are about to have pure chest pains so early. I'm highly disappointed because I had high hopes for this season to be less dramatic. After the absolute trauma of season two, our hearts needed healing. But unfortunately, guys, we ain't gonna heal. We got to be mentally prepared because by the look of things, it seems as if this season is going to be messy. Sanbonani, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel where I give you updates and reviews of reality TV shows. This is our update and review of Married at First Sight, episode 2. If you're a returning subscriber, you already know how we do it here. Thank you for tuning in for another chaotic reality TV breakdown. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button right now because we are tracking every single red flag this season. And guess you do not want to miss the updates and commentaries. So, on yesterday's episode, four new singles, Aubrain, Lorinda, Prince, and Esetu, took a leap of faith and officially tied the knot at the altar. The experts delivered exactly on Aubrain's specific wish list by matching him with Lorinda, and they officially became Mr. and Miss Motswane. Then Esetu explicitly asked for a protector and a provider, leading the panel to match here with Prince, a dedicated firefighter, to become Mr. and Miss Masoko. So, firstly, we're gonna talk about Mr. and Miss Masoko. I personally think the match is a potential disaster. By the look of things, it's like SA2 is not attracted to Prince, and also she carries severe physical and emotional trauma from her past relationships, and their traumatic past can negatively impact her dynamic with Prince. Whilst discussing her ex with the experts, she wept intensely, which literally showed that she is not fully healed. I think Esetu should have prioritized independent therapy over a reality TV marriage show. Also, she explicitly stated that she joined Married at First Sight looking for a safe place. So, her placing the burden of your safety and healing onto Prince, a brand new partner, places an unfair heavy weight on the relationship from the onset. And on the other hand, I'm just asking myself, Okoti, can Prince help Ese to heal? I don't think so because when Eseto was apprising Prince about what she went through in the hands of her ex, Prince's face showed zero care. The conversation also made their wedding night tense. Prince wasn't having a good time at all, and I do not blame him. Eseto's transparency was brave, but the timing and intensity of the conversation heavily shifted the mood from wedding bliss to survival management, which I believe was too much too soon. And then about Prince, I'm sorry, guys, if I'm judging a book by its cover, there is something off about Prince. Lord God to forgive me. I do not like the guy. He is forward. We are Papa. I also noticed that he got a ring tattoo, and a ring tattoo typically symbolizes eternity, wholeness, and unbroken commitment. Yes, on the episode, we heard that it's his third time getting married, but that tattoo, it's shady. And also, there are alleged scandals about him all over TikTok. For those who are in darkness, the primary rumors circulating on TikTok involve allegations that Prince is married and also he has been sliding into multiple women's DMs. A woman came forward online stating that Prince and Ye are still married. She clarified that while they were physically separated, they never legally divorced. The woman also said she had no idea Prince was entering Married at First Sight until the Mzansi Magic cast review aired. And then about the DM scandals, popular TikTok creators and everyday users have posted videos sharing screenshots and claiming that Prince has been messaging them privately. Guys, Sinenkinga Enkulu Prince is a problem. It's like we have another Tsepo 2.0. On that episode, Prince made the highly controversial decision to exclude his mother from the wedding. He stated that he decided not to invite her. She will meet Umakoti the traditional way. So Prince's decision gave me major Tepo vibes. Tepo famously used family customs and cultural expectations as a tool to control, manipulate, and sideline his bride, Palisa. Prince did the exact same thing by using an ancient tradition excuse to justify marrying a stranger blindly while completely twisting the actual rules of cultural respect. Also, Tepo was notorious for moving in secrecy, hiding critical family realities, and coordinating dramas with his family behind the scenes by intentionally keeping his mother completely in the dark and excluding her from the wedding. Prince showed the same toxic trait of gatekeeping information and hiding his real family dynamic from his new partner. Prince is displaying major red flags, and I do not see his marriage with Esetu working. I also noticed Okuti there is zero chemistry between Prince and Esetu. They appear deeply incompatible on a psychological and emotional level. The experts did a poor job. They matched them almost purely on a basic keyword logic. Esther said she wanted a protector, and Prince happens to be a firefighter. Thus, completely overlooked the massive psychological disparity between an unhealed trauma survivor who requires extreme emotional safety and a secretive partner who relies on gatekeeping and cultural manipulation. Another thing, I'm just wondering if the panel really did proper assessment because a proper psychometric and psychological screening should have flagged that Esetu was carrying active unhealed trauma from severe domestic abuse, making her emotionally unready for a highly stressful reality TV marriage environment. Lastly, let's talk about Lorinda and O'Brien. So Lorinda, guys, she's pretty. She got a huge aura. It's like she's a lover girl. She's giving Nelisa vibes. I like her. I really like her. About O'Brien, I'm on the fence. I'm skeptical about him. I'm just deciding to give him benefit of doubt that he ain't gonna disappoint. What's making me to be skeptical about him is because of how Lorinda's Gogo felt apprehensive during the wedding because she had a spiritual premonition of impending trouble in the marriage. But aside from that, Lorinda and him, O'Brien, they make a lot of sense. They are cute together. I literally saw chemistry between the two of them. I just pray for O'Brien's mother not to be a problem in their marriage because she was giving mean girl vibes throughout the wedding ceremony. In conclusion, all I can say is that Lorinda and O'Brien they are highly compatible. If they can shield their marriage from outside noise, they have all the ingredients to be the strongest couple of the season. So, guys, I have logged in my two favorite couples for this season, Nompumelelo and Shulani, then Lorinda and O'Brien. I do not want strays, please. So that is all that I had in this particular video. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. That was all about episode 2 of Married at First Sight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There is literally nothing to wait for. So please kindly do subscribe to join this beautiful family. If you've got your own opinion, your own observation, your own perspective, your own whatever, you know what we do here. Don't hesitate. Kindly go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section box down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and also share it. Bye for now.